And since Pharaoh did not change, the next horrible plague that happened, the plague of darkness, did not even have a warning. Unlike any of the other plagues, the plague of darkness had no warning. It just happened. And this plague was horrific. 3 days of darkness, and then 3 days of a different level of darkness the world has never seen before. And we'll only see again at the time of Mashiach. Before the end, there's going to be a plague of darkness for 15 days. And this darkness, Rabotai, will surprise you. And the reason why is because until now, we know that the plague of darkness was 3 days where the Egyptians couldn't see anything and the Jews could. And then the next 3 days, the Egyptians not only couldn't see anything, but they also couldn't move either. If they were sitting, they stayed sitting for 3 days. If they were standing, they stayed standing for 3 days. If they jumped up in the air, they were caught in the air for 3 days. Wherever they were, they got stuck for 3 days. And during those 3 days, it wasn't just darkness. The scariest sounds in the world were constantly in their ears. Horrible sounds. Whatever scary movie you ever saw, times that by a multiple of 100. Constant scary sounds, the scariest sounds. Now this, Rabotai, sounds like a unique punishment for the Egyptians. But anyone that looks at Rashi, our famed holy sage from 900 years ago, who lived in France, he elaborates that this whole plague was not really for a unique punishment of the Egyptians. In fact, the primary reason for this plague being the way it was because there were wicked Jews that did not want to leave Egypt. In fact, it wasn't a few Jews, but rather the majority of them did not want to leave Egypt. They want to stay in Egypt. They didn't want the Torah. They wanted to stay idolaters, and thereby lost their right to exist. But Hashem did not want the Egyptians to think that He's killing everybody. So He chose this plague in such a fashion where all of the attention will go on the Egyptians. And the Egyptians themselves wouldn't be able to pay attention to what else is going on while He is destroying those other Israelites. Because Judaism began at Mount Sinai. Those Israelites removing them from the world and only leaving those that still have a merit to leave Egypt. The most conservative number, meaning the most generous number, says that 80% of the Israelites were wicked and did not have the merit to leave Egypt, and therefore they died during the plague of darkness. And only 20% survived. Only 20% left Egypt and went to Mount Sinai. Some of the less conservative numbers say that not only was it not even close to 20%, some say it was 2%. One out of every 100 is 1%. 2 out of every 100 is 2%. That's pretty much what left Egypt. So here we see that a person can lose their right to exist by refusing to change. But that's not necessarily something that Hashem makes as a public statement to the world. Many times there's going to be unique experiences to get everybody's attention. If you notice over the last couple of years, the main thing that took the attention of many people has been the coronavirus and the scandals among all of the vaccines and so on. The truth is that this whole thing has been a spiritual cover-up. A cover-up to expose all of the heretics among us that really do not have faith in the Torah, do not have faith in Hashem, and needless to say, do not have faith in the Chachamim. Because as soon as they heard some scientist, or some politician, or some YouTuber say something contrary to what the head sages of the generation said, immediately they took the side of the scientist, the politician, the YouTuber, and whoever else. And in fact, went to such extent where they think that the rabbis are all wicked, the rabbis are all terrible, because they don't agree with whatever opinion they sided with, whether the opinion of the New World Order, or the opinion of everyone's going to die in a few months, all types of nonsense. And literally, you see many people, both religious and not, among our people, lose their olam haba. But it wasn't a new thing. It was just simply exposed. While the world was busy with vaccines and news and numbers, we have been educated of who has actual Emunah in Hashem.